Welcome back. Well, now that our temperatures have reached the 100 teens, we all need to be a little extra cautious outside in this heat, and that includes our pets. Joining us with some important advice is canine expert, trainer, and behaviorist with leader of the pack. It's Antonio Diaz. Great to have you back, sir.
So
You normally do these segments outside, but it's, a little too hot right now to be doing that. A little brutal, but let's start with some reminders right now for certain breeds of dogs that need extra attention during this weather.
Yes, so the fancy word is the brachycephalic dogs, and basically any flat-faced dog like a pug, a bulldog, or a Frenchie, for example, and even some pitties actually can run pretty hot, but you really want to be careful because those dogs have difficulty breathing, so they're going to be really, really prone to overheating, especially in this type of heat.
Okay, so now I see out and about a lot of pet owners, they put those boots on their dogs to protect their paws during the heat with the pavement and things like that. Is this a good idea or a bad idea?
Well, it can be a good idea, but the thing is a lot of people are unaware that dogs actually perspirate and they sweat through their paws. So most of the way that they cool themselves down is going to be through panting, but because they do sweat through their paws, when we cover their paws with booties that can't breathe, that aren't breathable, what we're actually doing is potentially overheating them a little bit more. So if you don't have booties that can breathe for your dog, just limit to how long you wear them or have them wear it. I would say like 15 minutes or so. And even I was guilty of that years ago with my dog. So,
all right, very interesting. Now, this is why you're the best, because I've never heard this tip before ever, okay? You're telling us that we got to be careful about giving water to a dog that, in fact, if the water's too cold, that could be problematic.
Yeah, so this is more specific to a dog that is like overheating, like currently overheating and potentially going into a heat stroke.
Yeah. Putting
ice cold water, while it sounds like it makes sense because you want to reduce that temperature as soon as possible, it actually can put them into shock. So, and again, just like little tips here and there, like, the booties and the ice water, it's information that's important to understand, and a lot of people don't know about it.
Wow, okay.
Yeah,
now,
so cool water.
Cool water.
On their chest, their face, their paws, so you don't want it to be ice cold.
Okay, now we do know that we have to take our dogs outside eventually in this heat to go to the bathroom, things like that. When is the best time of day to actually do that? What do you do with your actual dogs?
So I'm not much of a morning person, so I'm not getting up at 5 in the morning.
Thanks for being here.
No, this is not, this isn't too bad, but 5 in the morning is not my thing. So the best time would be early morning, because the ground and the entire earth has a chance to cool down, but the ground's going to be a lot cooler versus in the evening you still have some residual heat coming up from the ground because the sun was beating on all day. So the best time is early morning.
But if you're not like you, if you're not
with my dogs.
You do it at night.
I do it at night. Yeah, I go out when the sun starts going down. We go to the park, and that's their time. We have plenty of water for them. So, and my dog Brooklyn, for example, she's not a fan of the sun. She doesn't like the heat. She has dark fur, so she's again gonna feel that heat a little bit more, especially when the sunlight beats down on her. So, but she loves it out there, and as long as I have a bunch of water for her, she's good to go.
And what are some alternative options that pet owners can kind of use if they just want to remove the outside walking situation altogether? What are some other options?
Yeah, so a lot of times I recommend for my clients either stay in the house, and you can do things like have little scent detection games. You can put treats around the house. So the idea here is, instead of focusing on physical stimulation and exercise, we're focusing a little bit more on mental stimulation, which can be equally effective to tire the dog out. It's kind of the equivalent of like reading a physics book. If you're not into physics, 30 minutes of reading is really going to drain you. So the idea is to get the dog to utilize their brain. Now, if you want to get outside of the house yourself, a couple of options I would recommend. Please, if your dog is well behaved, right, as going to places like Bass Pro, Home Depot, or other indoor spots that allow you to bring your dog in. And really, really great places to train and get your dog out.
All right, that's a great thing. Now, before we let you go, really quick, because this is crucial for a lot of pet owners, July 4th.
Yes.
Tomorrow.
Big day.
Fireworks. People are going to be blasting them off all hours of the night. A lot of dogs don't do well with all that noise. It's aggravating. Tell us, what are some of the tips you have for tomorrow night with dogs who are going to be freaking out?
So first off, right off the bat, don't have your dogs outside. A lot of people just they're not thinking about it. They let their dogs outside and their dogs escape, and then it just goes downhill from there. Another thing is if you can be home with your dog and your dog is really nervous of fireworks, I would recommend being home with them rather than leaving them home alone. Again, because dogs have been known to jump through windows that are really in a state of extreme fear. If your dog is at this point, to be honest with you, it's a little late to kind of prep them for the fireworks. So we're talking about dogs that are nervous and how to deal with it from what it is. And I would say be with your dog, give them a quiet place wherever they want to go and hide. Let them be. Just let them be. Don't try to coax them and convince them to come out and that everything is okay. Just be there for them as a calm presence, confident, calm presence, and just let them go through. If they want to cuddle up next to you, that's fine. If they want to go lay in a corner, that's fine too.
Wow, look at this. We're even getting this is like relation tips.
It is.
Relationship stuff as well. I mean, this is all good stuff. Antonio, thank you so much. You see, leader of the pack, canine training, behavior, lifestyle, all the social media stuff there. We appreciate all your great advice.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.